Welcome everyone. This is our very first podcast, the Board Talkers podcast. This is covering the mental side of snowboarding and everything to do with sports as well. I'm Chris. I'm a snowboarder. I do a lot of crazy action sports, and also we've got James. Do you want to introduce yourself, James?
I'm James. I'm not a snowboarder, but I do coach the mental side of snowboarding, as you're about to find out.
He's been working with me for quite a while. Even before the snowboarding stuff, he helped me with a lot of stuff in my life, just getting a little bit more out of me. And we've kept in touch ever since.
Well, Chris, I've got to say, like, it's because of you that I'm here doing this now. Because when you phoned me up about snowboarding, I was like, well, yeah, I know what the solution is, I know what the method is to help you. And it was with our work together when I thought, well, hang on a minute, I should be doing a bit more of this. That's where it all started. So big thanks to you, Chris.
Oh no, it's definitely a team effort. You know, I'm the subject, you're the tutor, the coach. It's been a really good teamwork so far. And with the snowboarding stuff, which is all about this podcast, we're going to be covering everything to do with the mental side of it. I've had a lot of blockers and limitations and challenges, and James has been fantastic at just helping me see different sides of it, helping me see different approaches to different things. So that's what we've done together, and this podcast is obviously going to expand on that and hopefully help other people out. We'll see how it goes. So basically, the purpose of this podcast is to take our knowledge, take our experience that we've done a lot of work together on, and share it. Help other people out there. If there's anyone that's having similar kind of issues, then hopefully this podcast will be really useful to you. Maybe we'll invite you in as a guest one day, and you can explain the kind of stuff that you're working on, maybe having troubles with. But so welcome, episode 1. How about that? How's your week been, James?
Good, Chris. Monday was my birthday, so it was a good start to the week. Happy birthday,
mate. Happy birthday. What age are we now?
25.
Okay.
Madam.
You're lucky, man. That's nice.
So that was a good start, and we had some food. Went for a nice meal. A little bit of a few drinks afterwards, so that was good.
Yeah.
And then this week, I told you a few weeks ago, I'm training for the marathon.
Yes.
Which is at the end of October.
How long is it?
It's the last weekend of October, and this week I got my kind of confirmation of
full
my
marathon
entry. Yes, well, I hope so. Yeah.
26.4 is it?
Yeah, I'm doing it in kilometers.
Oh, okay.
Kilometers, so
what's that in kilometers?
42.
40. It sounds bigger. Sounds longer.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Sounds longer. I like it. Are you ready? You trained well?
I think I'm ready. I've got up to kind of 33 kilometers in my training.
Oh, God, that's good, man.
And
you haven't hit the wall yet.
Still felt quite good. No, well, actually, in that one, I did hit the wall.
Right.
The first time I got to that distance, and it wasn't very nice.
No,
I was like, right, okay, is this in my mind or is this in my body? And it was definitely in my body.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, that's part of it, isn't it? Because is it 50% mind, 50% running, or is it like snowboarding where it's like 10%? Snowboard, and the rest is in your mind. What's the percentage in running?
Yeah, I think it's a bit similar to. I think you've got to have the physical condition, otherwise you're not going to last, and you need the nutrition and stuff like that.
Right.
But when you're out there running, it is a bit of a mind game, to be honest. You've got to. There's a famous quote that says, "Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional." And you've got to basically separate those two things out. Yeah. So is this real pain, or is this pain in my mind?
Yeah.
So a lot of it is the mind game, but you're not going to finish it just in your mind.
No, obviously you need stamina, isn't it? It's a lot of miles or kilometers. Oh, that's good. Congratulations for your birthday and all the best with the running.
Yeah, sure. Cheers, man. Cheers. And what about you? What have you been up to, Chris?
Yeah, busy week. Busy week. A few conversations, trying to get some more clients on board. I've got 2 businesses in the UK and one in Norway, which is brand new. And so I'm having to do quite a lot of stuff over here, a lot of admin stuff over here. And then understand the stuff in Norway, how it all works with the commune, which is like the council over there, all the various public services and things like that. The business over there is like property ownership, which is similar to the one that I've got in the UK. So it's brand new, but it's just working all that out. I even had an issue with one of the septic tanks in a house that I bought. So some of like the drainage is plumbed into the public services. Some of them that have their own private tanks in the garden. This one has 2. So one of them got blocked, and then that wouldn't send water into the second one, so it just kept backfilling into the house. So I had to deal with that. I had to speak Norwegian to a rørlegger, which is a plumber in Norwegian. And I'm getting there, I'm having good conversation in Norwegian now, so it's definitely working all the lessons I've had. But trying to get them to empty the tank and then fit a new water pump, which was the problem in the end. And then eventually it all got sorted out. I even had to get my electrician to to go there and fill up the tank. I said, right, go there, turn the water on, fill up the tank, and then we know if the new water pump works. And like, I was watching her on the video half an hour later. Wow. And then she was like, yeah. And so I was like, okay, that's done then. So fantastic. Yeah. Oh, hi Lex. We've got someone on the chat.
Cool. When's that going to be finished, Chris?
It's ready now. It's ready now. I don't think it's ready for the general public because I got to fit a fire escape, and that's kind of like law in Norway. So if holiday guests, need to get out. It's in a cellar as well, so you've got to like put a new window in the cellar. So I'm just dealing with an architect and a contractor to get that done. But yeah, that'll be ready, I reckon, early next year. I also want to like get through the winter, work out everything, all the dealings with snow clearing and what it's like in the winter as well. I don't want to like instantly put it on the market as a holiday let and it's just not going to work in winter. That would be terrible. So yeah, I'm just going to work that out and then and see how we go.
Is this going to be for like snowboarders and skiers and people that want to get over
there? Yeah. I mean, it's so big over there, the snow sports. I mean, they're one of the best cross-country skiers in the world, the Norwegians, and they've got such a fantastic talent of Norwegian snowboarder skiers. It's brilliant. But I want to bring more non-Norwegians across because when I speak to the crew where I go snowboarding, not many people mention Norway. And so I want to change that. Sure. And get more people there. And I just thought, got a house, bring some people across and kind of introduce them to the world over there. And to be honest, I felt so at home going there, so welcomed. It's not as expensive as people say it is. It really isn't. Right now, the exchange rate against the pound's amazing. So I'm paying £20 a month for a subscription, a membership at a ski resort. And that's as much as you can go from like 9 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. £20 a month, cool. all month, all year. It's crazy. So, wow. But you go to like places in France, Austria, Switzerland, you're paying £50-60 a day for a lift pass. So that's why I go across there. That's my week. Cool. Been busy, lots of boring admin stuff, but all business. So yeah,
nice,
that's that. Getting right into it, snowboarding last night. So
where did you go?
Castleford. So that's my local in Yorkshire. It's like 40 minutes from my house, so it's really ideal. Lex, get yourself to Norway.
You've got your first customer.
Yeah, he's one of my snowball mates from Manchester. He's brilliant. Getting right into it, I would say the last month has been a massive turning point in in my mental game in snowboarding, and also my my physical ability as well. Something's just changed. Something's clicked. I just feel stronger. I feel more confident. And even last night, they had a kicker out for non-snowboarder people. That's a jump, basically a big lump of snow. You do jumps over it. And I've been working on this trick called a backside 360. And essentially, you jump off the kicker, and you face your back down the slope first, and you do your rotation. That's why it's called backside. It's the back side of your back facing down the slope first. And that's a backside. Yeah. So I got that so good last night. Really good air as well. Really good rotations. And this is like following on from maybe 2 weeks ago, where I started doing it on little ones, just a bit more confident. But yeah, that was really good. I mean, towards the end of the night, it was trash. It was trash. There was no energy. There was... I think 3 hours of non-stop. Yeah, it was a lot to ask, but it was great. Doing other tricks as well. It's just been a lot better.
Did you go there? Did you go there with that like intention, Chris, with that goal to work on the backside?
Yeah. Sometimes I go without a plan, and I can feel a little bit lost. Like I don't really know what what I'm aiming for. I don't know what I'm going there for. I mean, snowboarding for me is very addictive, very, very addictive. So going there is really, really good to do. But sometimes I feel a little bit lost. I'm going for the sake of going because I feel I need to. But when I've got a plan, like a trick that I want to nail or some other things that I want to try, it's much better. And that when you come away with achievement that you've done that trick, it's so good. So good. But last night, it just clicked so much.
So I'd like a call today to like somebody that's interested in the coaching, and we spoke a little bit about the off season and the kind of challenges and how it gets a bit boring sometimes, and you kind of waiting around for the season to start.
Yeah.
One of the things we spoke about is kind of separating your session or having like a 3-session goals, something connected to learning. So maybe learning something new, something connected to some kind of challenge.
I like that.
Like difficult. And then like a fun or crew kind of like element. It's like, try to incorporate those 3 things into your session, because if you go in there and having a bit of fun, at some point, you're not going to learn anything, and you say, well, I'm getting a bit bored now. And if you're only focused on challenges, it could get a bit too difficult. So you've got to have a balance. You've got to separate the session out.
100%. 100%. No, I like that 3-session goal. I'm just writing that down, so I'm going to add that into the session notes afterwards. Do you want to just add a little bit more meat on the bones with that one? Like a bit more context so we can maybe help identify it.
Yeah, Chris, it was a bit like anything really. If you've not got a direction, so if you're not really sure where you are and not really sure where you want to go, you can kind of waste a bit of time sometimes. And
I agree with that.
If you're only focusing on, let's say, a difficult challenge, and you're there for 2 hours and you're working on it, next time it might be a bit difficult to get motivated. So you've got to kind of break your session up into 3 sections and say, right, okay, what am I learning? What's something that I want to try and learn, or what's something that I want to try and get better at? So, for example, your backside 360. Then there might be a challenge in that, or another challenge on something else, on the box or somewhere on one of the rails or something else. And it's like, okay, this is going up a level. So I'm going to challenge myself. And then when you start getting tired, you say, right, well, I'm just going to like hang out with the crew and have a bit of fun with those guys for 40 minutes. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I totally agree with that. And this is one of my biggest bugbears in myself, is I can be so focused on one thing, like one trick. And then you overdo it, like you overthink it, and it gets so frustrating. You frustrate yourself when you're not doing it. And I've had to now like force myself to get into doing something else, like stop doing that trick, just do something else for maybe 5-10 minutes, do something completely different, then come back to it. And it's amazing how much better you are when you come back to it and you just leave it for a little bit. So I completely agree with that.
Yeah, sure. And you know, if you go in there and you're doing the same tricks every week, at some point you're going to get a bit bored. So you say, right, okay, let's just give myself some direction here, some kind of focus, and say I'm going to separate it out, and that it really helps.
Yeah, no,
Gives
I agree.
you a bit of variety and keeps you kind of interested, especially. I mean, we're coming to the end of the off season, but especially during the off season when it's not quite the same.
Yeah, I mean, in the rest of the world, they have an off season. So, whereas like in England, we have dry slopes, we have indoor slopes. I don't know what the country with the most indoor slopes is, but we've got 4, and then Scotland's got 1 as well, which is constantly opening and closing. I don't know what the deal is with that anymore. But that's our thing. Our thing is the indoor slope, or like the short run slopes. You know, we have snow all year round.
And is it busy all year round? Stay busy, Chris?
No, I mean, for us, like addicts of going there every week. No, it's quiet. Yeah, I mean, you get the occasional, you know, maybe school, you know, school holidays. It might be a bit busy. Summer, half term, that kind of thing. It's there. But to be honest, no, it's the winter time. That's where it picks up, and it picks up a lot. You know, you're having to queue, or there's the lifts that take you to the top of the slope. Maybe having to wait a little bit longer. But yeah, we don't have an off season. Yeah. Other countries do. You know, they you know, especially the mountains. You know, they like to welcome people. I'll have a walk around, have a hike, take the bike out. You know, all that kind of stuff. We obviously we do that as well, but we have the ability to go snowboarding if we wanted to. Switzerland.
And does that make a difference, Chris? Does that make a difference between, like,
I think it helps with consistency.
Off season.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're a pro, pros just kind of switch it off and switch it back on. You know, it doesn't take them long to get back to where they were. I was just looking at one of the guys that I've been following for a while, Marcus Cleven. He's from Norway. He's from a place quite north in Norway called Donbass, and he is undoubtedly the best in the world right now. He's just technically great. It's incredible to watch. But they have an off season. They can switch it off. You know, they go sun holidays, lounging around, that kind of stuff. But then the snow starts coming. They just switch it back on. For us, like amateurs, I guess you want to call us, consistency is key. It's a big thing. And I was even talking to one of the crew last night, and he's not been well for a few weeks. And just those maybe 2-3 weeks of not snowboarding, coming back, he's found it quite difficult to get back into it. Like get your mind back into there, remember how things were. One guy that I know, he was out for 6 months with a broken collarbone, and he just lost the confidence. I mean, that's obviously a little bit different. You've got injury on the mind, so there's obviously a little bit of a fear factor as well. I've just seen a message from Lex about that, which we'll come into. But yeah, there's a lot of fear after an injury.
Right.
And that is a big part of what we're going to be talking about, but it's how you're dealing with that fear. But yeah, consistency is definitely very important for people that aren't pros.
Yeah, because you can lose it. You can lose your momentum and lose some elements of your technique and lose some elements of your...
There's a lot of muscle memory involved, I've found. A lot of muscle memory. And you lose that. It's like you're having to teach your brain to do it all over again. Every week, you just don't know what you're going to get. Like, you don't know if your brain's... what mood you're going to be in, what, you know, outside elements might affect you. There's a lot going on week. I like that. And I like that because then it means that every week is a different challenge, whereas it can be a little bit mundane. But as long as you keep going, it doesn't take long to get back into it and to get like back into a routine, back into a...
So what happens there, Chris, from a kind of mental point of view, when you've not done it for a few weeks and you go back and start again? Are you a little bit? Do you have some kind of doubts, or you're not
Tentative.
quite sure?
I would say, I would say tentative. Like maybe look at some rails and then maybe have a few goes riding past them rather than going on them, or a jump instead of like doing a 360 or something. Maybe just jump over it, just get used to that feeling again. Low expectations and then build up to it. I think that works quite well.
And is that more of a body thing or a mind thing?
Both.
When you're
both
with it? Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've noticed that taking 2 weeks off physically, I can't last as long because you lose the stamina. You know, if you think about you're in a real resort, you're on a chairlift for a lot of the day, and you're on the chairlift for 10 minutes, 20 minutes at times. Something, you know, you have a lot of sitting down. Whereas in the indoor places in the UK, you're straight on a pull lift, and then you snowboard down. You know, it takes 20 seconds to snowboard down, back up on the lift. You know, it's a minute or two to get you back to the top again. Then you're back down again. Keep doing that for 3 hours. It's a lot of runs. It's a lot of runs. But if you're off for 2 weeks,
that's a lot of Red Bull.
Well, yeah. I'm a monster person, and I'm not kidding. Like the last 2 weeks, my heart has been jumping out of my chest. I think I've peaked with that now, so I think I need to drink less. But that's my thing. I have a routine which I do week on week. I don't believe in superstitions. I think superstitions are a little bit fugazi. You know, it's a little bit up there. It's kind of like man-made a little bit. Whereas
it's not right boot first and then left
exactly
boot first.
Yeah. But I do believe in routine, and I have the same routine every week before I do snowboarding, and it starts from when I get ready at home, and like I'll put like the left knee brace on, the right in a certain order, because it just gets my mind in the right place. It's like a journey. It's like a routine, and I'm very strong about routines. Like if you're doing your 9-to-5 job and getting up at the same time every day, you're gonna be better at that because you've got a routine and you stick to it. Whereas if you're heavy on the sauce one night and then you wake up and it's last minute, you're rushing everything together, it's not going to go as well as it normally is. Or if you wake up too early, maybe you're sitting around and you forget your routine or something like that. So, but in snowboarding, it's putting on the gear, and then it's getting in the car, and then when I hit the motorway, I get the Monster Energy drink out, and then the tunes sometimes get me fired up as well. It's and then when I get there, it's a case of doing my warm-ups, my stretches, getting all the gear on in the right order, making sure everything's there. Getting your mind there.
What about when you get to the point where you're about to do a run? Do you have a kind
by
of
that
routine
point
there?
Yeah, by that point the routine's there, it's done. So it's like now is the time to get on with it. Lex has just said it calms her, and yeah, I agree, it does, because snowboarding is dangerous. Snowboarding can be really dangerous, especially what we're doing with freestyle. You're jumping on metal rails, you're jumping, quite high in the air, you can slam quite that, you can break anything, you can tear anything. It is dangerous. So having a routine to like get you in the right frame of mind and getting you ready, getting your sport ready is really important, and I'm a big advocate of that.
There's a good point here to make as well, Chris, that pre-run routines before you approach the trick or the thing that you're going to do. If you have got some kind of like mental routine, what you're saying, it gets you in the right frame of mind. But one other thing that it does is it stops you from interfering. So it stops you from worrying or doubting or creating stories in your head or visualizing something going wrong. The routine stops you from doing that, because it's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and now we go. So you're kind of distracting your mind with the routine rather than worrying about what might happen.
Yeah.
So that's a kind of key thing as well, connected to the route.
And this goes straight into the work that we did recently. I was having problems with rails, if you remember. I was trying to do board slides in them, and I just wasn't committing. I wasn't getting onto the rail. I wouldn't say I'm 100% there still, but there was a lot of noise going on, like, don't do it, this is dangerous, all of that, all of those bad things that goes on in your head before you're about to do like jumping on a piece of metal. It does play with your confidence, and it plays with your ability to even start the trick. Never mind like finish it and actually do it. So we did a technique of quietening the noise and just focusing on. Well, we started with 3 points, if you remember. So try and break the trick down into like 3 points and just focus on those. So it'd be like ride up to it, and then it'd be jump, and then it'd be on the rail or something like that, or with a kicker, like ride up to it. Ride up to the peak of the kicker and then do a grab, or so, breaking the trick down into
wasn't it like
segments.
Jump, pop, something 100%.
Like that, like. Yeah, that was where it evolved to. So I've actually taken it down to 2 points now. So it's pop and then over.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, pop and then over.
Pop and then over, because
cool.
if on a rail, so there's your rail. You're coming up to the rail, you pop, and then you're over the rail like that. So
yeah.
So basically, it's two points for me now. The problem for me wasn't finishing the trick; it was starting the trick and continuing it. My problem was I was backing out, or I wasn't fully committing. And so having like 2 points to try and get me there is what it's evolved to, and that works every time now. Sometimes something will pop in my head. I don't know what it is. I'll maybe see someone fall, or it's just something will distract you. As soon as I think of those 2 points again, I'm back to where I was. It's incredible. It's like muscle memory in your brain or something.
Well, the thing with that, Chris, is that your body knows what to do. It's not your body that doesn't know what to do. Your body can pop, and your body can land, and your body can like do all of those things. Mm-hmm. It's when you interfere with that, and you worry about something, or you get distracted with something else, or like you create stories, that then creates tension in your body, and your body cannot perform that thing. You
kind of close up a little bit. Everything just like tenses a little bit, and that's harder to do tricks when you're not relaxed. 100%.
So instead of having all this interference, what I call interference, like worries and doubts and stuff, you're now giving yourself something to think about. Okay, approach, pop, whatever it is, and you kind of distract everything, and you kind of let your body do it. You never finish a run and say, oh yeah, my body like fucked up then. It's not that. It's not. You're interfering with all of that, aren't you? Do you know what I mean?
It simplifies it. It removes the distractions. It removes all of the bad stuff that can interfere with actually doing the trick, and you're only focusing on the trick, nothing else. Because it's so easy to do snowboarding, and I've got bills to pay, I've got to pick up the kid. There's all these other outside stuff that can affect your focus, and being in that moment, and you've got to like close that out, get rid of everything, and just only focus on that moment right there.
Sure.
But it works.
Yeah, you've got to get to the point with that as well, Chris. I think like a bit like driving the car. We've spoken about this before. You leave your house, and then after 30 minutes, you're on the way to Castleford, and you don't know what's happening.
No, I don't know where the fuck. How did I get here?
and that level of trust in your body to do the right things. That needs to be transferred into
100%.
Your snowboard runs. It's like, well, I don't need to get involved. I don't need to tell my body what to do. In fact, it's the complete opposite. I can do this without giving it any instructions.
Do you know what I've done? I haven't done board slides properly for quite a while now. They're there, but I'm not consistent with them, and there's a reason for that. So there's the rail. Board slides are where you're going, basically jumping onto it sideways like that and then you go down the rail. I've been doing what's called a 50-50, so your snowboard is in line with the rail, so you're just going straight down it. And I've just, like you just said there, the muscle memory, and I want to have those nailed, so I'm not even thinking about it. They just happen. I just see a rail on it, there's another rail on it. They're becoming almost automatic now, because I'm doing so much of them, and that was the point. I want to do them to the point where I'm not even thinking about it, it just happens. But that again is consistency, and this is where doing it week on week, if not, twice a week, 3 times a week, whatever you can fit in, doing it as much as possible, it just becomes so natural. Like last night, just to break me away from doing this fucking 360, did another rail. I didn't even think about it, it just happened. So it's close. It's very, very close now. But that's just from doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah, doing it over and over again, but getting into some kind of flow with it where you're just kind of in the zone and you're just flowing with whatever happens, creating something, stuff like that. It's really cool, that, Chris. It's really, really good observations. What was it that Lex wanted to point out? What was she saying?
Let's have a quick look. Fear after injury. So, not uncommon at all. Because the last thing you want to do is you come back snowboarding and you injure yourself again. You're out for however long it is. I tore my calf muscles about 2 years ago. I just had the wrong size boots, so my legs were just moving around so much in my boots. It actually tore my calf muscles. It was bad. I mean, I was on 400 milligrams times 2 of ibuprofen just to stop the pain, just so I could go snowboarding. It got that bad. It was bad, but it's one of those things where you have to overcome it. It's like the whole noise thing again. Your injury and your recovery process is not completely physical, it's massively mental as well. And there's a lot of noise going in your head when you come back. And you think if
kind
I
of
did the
kind
same,
of survival, like don't do this, you could get hurt.
100%. It's
so how do you get over that then? Or
the 2-point to 3-point thing, and I'm not kidding. That is the answer. It's my answer. I'm not going to say it's going to work for everyone. Everyone's got different ways of dealing with things. That has worked for me.
I'm guessing Lex has had an injury as well.
Yeah.
Or not. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she bounces a lot. She bounces a lot. Yeah, she had an injury. And in fact, last time I went snowboarding with her in Manchester, she was doing the 50-50 jumping on the rail. It was a big gas pipe. She absolutely nailed it by the end of the night, the day that I was there. But that's just doing it over and over again. But it's repetition, it's consistency, it's keep doing it. It's eventually the bad thoughts will disappear and you won't even worry about them anymore. It's because your muscle memory in your brain and your body, it just becomes so natural. But yeah, removing the noise is like the biggest problem. I'd love to get a pro snowboarder on here because I know a lot of them have had like serious injuries, serious injuries. And they've come back. So, yeah.
There must be like a period of adjustment. Let's call it like a period of trust, where you've got to trust yourself again, kind of thing. It's like you've got to say, right, okay, this happened, but I trust my body to do this. I trust my body to get over this.
Yeah, I mean, an injury is an injury. It's, you've got to rebuild whatever you've damaged. And so you've got to then trust your physical self as much as your mental self. Maybe more your physical self to start with. You don't want to rupture whatever you've done as soon as you get back. So that's like, stepping stones. When you do your rehabilitation stuff, it's stepping stones. You're building up to it. You're getting higher and higher with like your weights or your repetitions or whatever it is, however much your body can take, and then you keep going, progression. So yeah, there's a lot of trust that your body's going to withstand whatever you failed on before.
Sure.
To make sure you don't do it again. And then once you're probably confident with your body, yeah, then you can start doing tricks. I mean, I snapped my ACL 10 years ago, but that's always there. And it will always be there. I had the surgery. I wear knee braces, but it gets sore. It gets quite swollen after a night because it's well used. The knee suffered trauma and it just never properly recovers. And I'm not on my own with that. I know a lot of people that have had similar outcomes after an ACL. It's such a bad point. You're always on it.
What do you do to like manage that and care for it, Chris?
Ice, ibuprofen.
Are you wearing a brace or anything?
Only when I snowboard. But that's because I've had the surgery, and they recommended after surgery, if you're going to carry on doing these crazy sports, you need to protect that reconstruction, because it's not going to be as strong as your original ACL, because it's soft tissue. You can take out the ACL and you can pull a vehicle with it. It's that strong. You can tie it to one end of a tow bar and pull a truck. It's really strong. But when they reconstruct it, what they do is they take bits of your hamstring and plait it together, make a new ACL, and then they drill that between the calf bone and your top bone. Don't ask me about biology. I'm not going to go into any of that. That's not my bag.
Femur.
Femur. Yeah, femur, and then your calf bone. I don't know. So yeah, it was quite traumatic for the knee.
Serious, man.
But I wear the knee brace so it doesn't happen again, because it's.
And how long after did you start snowboarding again?
Well, I mean, at the time I was doing more kiting. I mean, the injury came from kiting. Kiting is, for people that don't know, I have a 21-meter kite. It's probably about 15 meters wide or something like that. But it's 21 meters squared, so it's not like 21 meters wide. It's like 21 meters squared, the whole of it. But I actually did it with a smaller kite of 15 meters squared. But I was doing rotations, 360s, just caught it wrong. Just landed funny, and just my leg went backwards, and instantly I knew something wasn't right. Carried on anyway, and then my knee just popped out. But as soon as I started working, I mean, I was carrying on kiting even with no ACL. As daft as it sounds, I'm not kidding. It was. I was on a dance floor. And I was killing some moves. I was throwing some right shapes, man. But the knee just went.
In the next episode, we'll have a video of Chris on the dance floor.
We'll get a bit more wind down, and we'll start. We'll start throwing some shapes and getting groovy. It'll be good, man. But that's all it took. Just some crazy moves, and then the knee popped out. I thought, this isn't right. That's about the 5th time this has happened now. So I went to get MRI. Yeah, they said, you've got no ACL. Got the surgery, and I'll be honest, the NHS were fantastic. I know a lot of people have had bad experiences. I had a fantastic experience. Really quick to do everything. Got the surgery done, the rehab afterwards as well. They were brilliant. So big thanks, massive thanks to them for getting me back there. And then
what I was going to say, Chris, what did you do to get back to kind of like 100% with it, physically and mentally, kind of thing?
There was a lot of gym work, a lot of weights. One thing that one of the physios said to me, okay, stand on this step. Now jump down on the leg that you've just had the surgery, only on that leg. And I was like, my brain just froze. It's like, how am I going to jump down onto the leg that's just had the surgery? It's mental. And I was stood there for a good minute or two just going, how do I do this? It was really weird. But yeah, it's just progression. It's just like building weights, doing jumps, jumping a bit higher, jumping with weights, leg extensions, the other ones, leg pulls, lots of squats, weighted squats, everything. Everything was leg. No, every day was leg day. I couldn't skip leg day because it was leg day every day.
Every day is leg day.
Every day was leg day. But I'm still feeling it now. So, it's one I've just dealt with it. It's always going to be there. I've just accepted that. But yeah, and then I went kiting. I did a little bit of snowboarding just to see how that felt as well, and it was fine. But I wasn't expecting anything where I'm at now. We're 3-4 years ago, I started doing freestyle snowboarding, and that's put even more pressure on my legs because I'm doing jumps and landing hard and doing all these crazy things. So, I've got confident with it, and the knee brace helps psychologically as well, I would say.
Yeah, sure. I like it, man. I like it. Yeah, it's a good story, actually. I always wonder about that part afterwards, like how long does it take? What kind of things do people have to do to get themselves back?
I mean, everyone's different. Everyone's different with recovery, and it comes down to your own commitment as well. Not everyone's in a good position as me, where they've had all this time. And I was actually working for another company at the time, and they were really supportive. Really supportive, and that helps as well. So bit of a journey. It's an ongoing journey, but it's a journey I don't even think about anymore, to be honest. But yeah.
Well, the good thing is it's not stopped you, has it? It's not stopped you from.
I know, and this is the point. It. This is going back to the question from Lex. It's just one of those things. You've just got to accept it. You've had an injury. You need to get past it at some point. Repetition's good. Consistency's good. Facing your fear. And if that doesn't work, I've even had hypnotherapy before when I was doing kiting. Brain just would not let me do 360s. And I went for hypnotherapy, thought it was going to be a complete scam. Next time I was doing 360s. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
That's cool.
So, but your mind's got to be willing to accept things like that. I think you've got to go in with an open mind and accept the fact that it's not for everyone. It's probably not going to work for everyone. Maybe it's a Jedi mind trick. Maybe I'm weak-minded. I don't know.
Maybe go back and say that you want to go in the Olympics snowboarding.
Yeah.
Get to like hypnotize you. You'll be there. And when is it? It's in 3 years. You'll be there in 3 years.
Yeah, I'll do that, man.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
No, I don't think I'm at that stage. I've seen some of our athletes train at my local in Castlewood, and they are good. They are very good to watch. You can understand why they are pros. Everything is just like perfect and absolutely, very, very good. So,
is there a difference between Castleford and Manchester for you?
Yes, the snow the lighting is a lot darker in Castleford. The snow is a bit more flowery, whereas Chilfats, it's like an ice rink. But the snow's better. I prefer the snow in Manchester because it feels like real snow. Lighting's better. And then I go to the one in Oslo quite a lot. And that just feels like you're on a resort. It just feels like you're actually in a real resort. It's 4 times as long as the ones we've got here. So you're having a good run down as well. They've got permanent park out, so you can always do a jump and a rail. Whereas in this country, they have 2 or 3 days a week where they set out new features, and then they tear it all down. And it's just flat, for the rest of the week until they put the features up next week. But in Oslo, it's always out there. But I can't go to Manchester too often because I can't get on the features very well because it's so icy, and it really plays with your confidence. You're about to like jump onto a rail and your board just slips out underneath you. I don't like that. One in Tamworth, that's really good. It's small, it's intimate, it's a lovely little place, but it's probably it's the best for rails. They've always got so many rails out, all different shapes and sizes and abilities, and it's definitely, if you want to go for rails, that is definitely the place to like pick up your game. Tow rope on the side as well, so you're having a bit of a workout.
That variety of rails, that sort of Chris, that variety of rails, does that help a bit with the creativity
Yeah.
What you do.
Yeah, some rails are like skinny thin, some are wider, some are shorter, some are longer, some are like big pipes, like gas pipes, drain pipe. There's so many different options, but you get those in this country. In Manchester and Yorkshire as well, but they just don't have as many out, I would say. But Tamworth, yeah, Tamlands Tuesday is brilliant. I've done that a few times. Snow's really good there as well. I like it there.
What's the kind of difference in the kind of culture and the attitude of like snowboarding in Oslo and the one there?
The thing is with Norway is bringing indoor snow, indoor skiing, indoor snowboarding. It's not the Norwegian way. It's not what they do. So it's been really tough for what is called snø, which is snow in Norwegian. It's been really difficult for them to get Norwegians to actually go there because it's just not what they do. It has got better, but it's been tough. It's been tough to get the right people there.
It's not what they do because they go in the real snow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right.
In the summertime, they're still doing cross-country skiing, but they've got these crazy, the light skis with wheels on, and they're just going up and down the road. I'm not kidding, it's insane, but that's what they do. That's their thing. It's incredible.
Like so a Norwegian Uber.
Yeah. on the back.
Where are you going?
Yeah, no, I think they'd do quite well with that, like a Deliveroo, but an Uber. Yeah, that'd be amazing. It's just not what they do. So it's been tough to get it over there. But the snowboarding culture is brilliant. You know, they have some of the best snowboarders in the world coming out of Norway. And Sweden. Sweden, there's quite a lot coming out of that. To be honest, all the Nordics, there's loads that are just the best in the world. Obviously, there's loads in America and Europe as well. Some in New Zealand, Australia. They're all over. But the culture to
can you integrate into that culture and feel kind of part of it in Oslo? The difference there.
The thing is with Norwegians is they're quite introverted, quite shy. They keep themselves. They've got like little small groups of friends, and they don't really go outside of that for most of their life. Actually, but I get that. I'm quite introverted, quite shy. But I just get the culture of it. I just get it. I understand it. Whereas here, snowboarding is a little bit more, I don't know, it's a bit more welcoming, I suppose. Everyone's like there, the crew's there. Everyone helps each other out. Gives everyone a big fucking, yeah, you've done that. Whoa! Like even last night, people doing tricks, like people screaming at them. And yeah, it's good. It's a good support system. Really is nice. And
how important is that part of it for you, Chris? You know, having the crew there and that
I mean, I'm very much a solo traveler. You see this, I go all over the world on my own. But having other people saying to you, yeah, nice job, that looked great, you know, big 360 or whatever it was I was doing, that's nice. I like to hear that. I don't ask for it, I don't want it. It's just nice to hear. I'm very much an independent, so I go for myself, and I'm like, if I've done a good trick, I'll congratulate myself. Going up the slope, going up the lift, I'm talking to myself, oh, you could do it like this, you can try this. Like, I'm talking to myself, I'm like kind of guiding myself to do it like that. But I still get advice from other people as well. They're really cool at, you know, saying, oh, did you realise you did this? Or like drawing in the snow, like try approaching the kick, like, you know, we help each other out.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
It's a different one. But I've not really had that in Norway. But that's, I don't know, maybe that's just not what they do. I just not
cultural
had that
thing, maybe.
Yeah, I've just not.
Do you ever get inspiration from watching the others? You know, if someone's doing something or trying something, do you get like an ideas or inspiration from that?
Yeah,
so that's quite important.
Yeah, definitely. You're not going to learn all these tricks on your own. You definitely look around, watch videos on YouTube or Instagram, whatever it is. You get input from the outside world, but if you're riding with these people, you do pick it up. You do see what they're doing, and you pick it up. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Have you got an example of something so
Um,
I understand it a bit better?
let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's just go back to the 360s. So, because that's like quite fresh, and I was doing quite well with them. Just seeing how other people approach the kicker. I think that's been a big one for me, because I've tended to take a really big carve before I do the jump, just to get. It's not a bad. It's like a neat way of going up to the kicker before you jump it, just to like keep it simple, nice and smooth, nice and calm. But other people maybe just like bomb it down and then do it a little bit smaller rather than a big curve. They just do it a bit more narrow. So I've been looking at other people doing that, and that's worked. So that's a good example, just seeing how other people. And there are some really, really fantastic snowboarders in Yorkshire that I watch every week, and you just think, yeah, that's natural. You've got that flow, that natural ability, that natural flow. So it rubs off. Definitely rubs off.
Yeah, I think that's important, isn't it? Is to kind of see others doing it, and if you see that enough times, you can take that like visual and give those visuals to your own body, and say, right, okay, now you're starting to compare things, aren't you? So you're seeing you do it like this, and you see the guy do it like this. So okay, that little visualization of somebody else, I think, is really important.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. And you're gonna pick up little things here and there from other people. It's just natural. You go through life.
So for example, on that one of the clients that I had can't do any visualization. They can't visualize themselves.
Okay.
At the top of the slope doing something.
Right.
So I said to them, well, who does it how you want to do it?
I do that.
Start saying these names.
Yeah.
I don't know the names, but they'll start giving me these names. And I say, well, what do they do? And they will see it and describe it.
So actually, are they visualizing someone else doing the trick before they're doing it? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's visualization in a way. Maybe not visualizing yourself, but you're visualizing how the trick's been done, I suppose. They just need to superimpose their face on, I guess.
Well, you're telling your body, like, or showing your body how to do it. So some people have a bit of a weird thing where they can't see themselves doing something, but they can see this guy in the Olympics or this guy from Instagram. And I said, well, okay, there's your visualization. So how is he going to do it? And then they kind of describe what happens, and then take that to the top of the slope. And so as they're going up, say, oh, okay, this is what he does. And I'm going to like do the same.
No, that's good. It works so well as well. It's like you're getting your brain ready for what you're about to do. And then it becomes a little bit more natural because your brain's already processed it and thought about it. And so when you actually do it, it's natural. It's more natural because you've already done it in your head. It's crazy how it works, but
well, it kind of. I think the point there, Chris, is that you're doing something in your head, but it actually works in your body. So you're seeing the thing in your mind, and that is going to your body. So you don't have to give the verbal instructions to your body because your mind's giving it to your body. That's the power of visualization. So when you arrive at that starting point, your body's just copying what you've already given it. Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? That how it works.
It's an incredible technique, but it's definitely one that comes out quite a lot. I do recommend people do it. I have not seen it do it like I have before. I stand at the top of a slope and I'm like actually doing it with my hands, like trying to, and that works. It's like I'm putting my body into it, so I'm like making it happen. It's so strange, but it works. It's an incredible technique.
What one? I don't know. Can I share? Yeah, I can share this. One of the clients used to take clips with commentary, and let's say they were watching it and listening to the commentary, and the commentator would be very passionate or emotional.
Yeah.
They would take that commentary and play it in their mind while they're going down.
I like that.
and that I thought that was a cool idea. So,
Yeah,
you know,
I like
it's
that.
kind of like you're on television or you're in the Olympics. Oh, he's done an amazing trick and this, that, and the other, and it's like, yeah, it's quite cool. Quite a cool hack as well.
So they're pretending to be someone else doing the trick, but obviously it's themselves. But they're pretending it's them doing that trick, and the commentators commentating on that. That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, he's got one more rail to go.
Yeah.
Oh, he's nailed it, and you know that kind of.
Make sure you get the right recording. Oh, he's got that one up. He's landed on his head. His arms fallen on it. Jeez, yeah.
He's ended up in the restaurant.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, something to think about. It's like quite a nice technique. If you can find something that's connected to what you're doing, it's like, okay, you know, I think in a lot of countries they've got some great commentators, and in England we've got some great commentators.
I personally think we've got the best. I really do think we have the best commentators. Certainly in the snow world, we've got Ed Lee, we've got Tim Warwood, and they're brilliant. Even Graham Bell, he's an old skier. Kemi Olcott, they're brilliant. They're naturally good. Amy Fuller's pretty new to it as well. She's done quite a lot, but they've just got this ability to just say the right things at the right time, and it entices you in. It's like you're interested in watching it because they're so excited. They go, "I can't believe that's..." It's incredible, like the enthusiasm. But there's definitely some commentators that I prefer to listen to more than others because they draw you in.
I was that impressed with that idea that I started using it in my marathon training. When I get to the end of my road here and I'm about to finish, I've kind of got David Coleman and some other guys, Steve Cram, playing in my mind as I approach the finish.
Yeah.
Then I get in the house and my girlfriend's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Jesus Christ. Just finish
call
the
me
Olympics."
Call me Mo Farah for the next half an hour. I need to come out of this for a little bit. I've been visualising stuff.
Call me Mo Forshaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's powerful stuff.
I love that. Stuff. That's great. And it works.
How we doing for time, Chris? I've not got.
We're coming up to an hour. We've done an hour. We're now an hour in 2 minutes. So we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
I think that's good. Aims for this week. What are your aims for this week? What are you going to focus on?
Well, I've got a lot of work at the moment, Chris. So yeah, I'm gonna be focusing on that. At the moment, I've got I'm designing the mental. What we're talking about here, the mental side. I'm designing a kind of course for that for snowboarders, and for instructors. So I'm working on those two things, and that includes not only the course, possibly an application, possibly some kind of guide that you can take on the slopes with you.
Right.
So
nice.
I'm working on that. So I'm doing bits and sending it out, getting a bit of feedback, making some changes, sending it out, getting some feedback. So yeah, I'm focusing on that. Focusing on that basically for the next kind of 2 months, really. That's good. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Fantastic. So, Oh, well, all the best with that. Because I know you've told me a lot about it, and it sounds like it's going to be a really useful tool for people on the slopes. And, you know, maybe you can take it to other sports at some point as well. But I think
I think it kind of translates into other sports. Yeah. And I think what I'm learning about snowboarding is you have got some amazing technical teachers and coaches. You know, the technique side is kind of amazing, really. You've shared some channels with me and some guys with me, and that technical side is amazing. But I think there's an opportunity to complement that with the mental side as well. So
fantastic.
Yeah, it's all super positive. And of course, I'll be thinking about the next podcast.
Hey, there we go. Yeah. No, I mean,
what about you?
Also thinking about the next podcast for sure. I mean, I'm going to be snowboarding again. I'm thinking about going tomorrow. Just there's not many features out tomorrow, to be honest. So I'll be going maybe a couple of hours just to try a few things, a few 50/50s, maybe some board size. I don't know, but there's not much out. That's Saturday. On Saturday, they don't generally have much out in Castleford. But that's okay, because after Thursday, I'm quite tired anyway. I don't tend to do Fridays anymore because physically I'm drained. I think my eyes are badly affected by the lights in there, so my eyes just aren't working very well on the Friday. But the next week will be that. Want to get more into doing some mountain biking, because when I went to Oslo, I went to the ski resort there, went mountain biking. Really steep, like red runs on this mountain bike that I hired. I mean, the back wheel was spinning. It was really struggling for grip, and it was going up steep hills. But the positive of that is the next time I went snowboarding, I was so strong. Like, my legs were really strong. I can imagine. I think mountain biking complements snowboarding quite well. So yeah, I'm going to look for some places around here I can go and do a bit more of that, I think.
There's a cool place in North Wales called I think it's called Llandegla.
Right.
It's just on the border of with England.
Right.
But that's like quite a cool place to go. I went there a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's quite good.
There's Dalby Forest, which is about an hour away from here. That's a big forest, and they've got runs and walkways, and we've done that before. It is tiring. There's a lot of runs up there, so that would be quite good. It's an hour away, so there's somewhere a bit more local. I might be a bit more inclined to go, but yeah, that's the plan.
Enthusiastic.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Nice.
I think with snowboarding, it's going to be next week. Get the backside 360s, as long as there's a good kicker out. Get them nailed. Get the front side 360s. One thing about last night is I nearly got a 540 as well. And I was even trying to get 540s. And I got almost a rotation and a little bit of a turn. And then as I landed, I just finished it as a 540. So it's that close of getting the 540. So but by the end of the night, I had no energy to do that. So, but that's close. That's like a new trick I'm going to try and aim for. But it comes down to whether there's a good kicker there or not. It's got to be the right conditions. So you just turn up and see how you go. But
what's one of the tricks that you really need to start having a go at that you've?
I think the 540 is. I think I've had 360s for a long time now, and I think 540's got to be the next progression. And then when
I'm going to make a note of that and ask you next time.
Yeah. I mean, I can't guarantee I'll get it, but I'll be working on it as long as the kicker's right. I'll put that as a note. Other than that, more switch riding. That's where you ride the opposite. Where I ride with my left foot forward and my right foot back. Like steering foot is my right foot. Switch riding is the other way around, and I haven't done that for maybe about 3 weeks now. So I need to do more switch riding, and it's really good for landing. So when you're doing a rotation, your switch riding really helps your landing, especially 540s where you're landing switch. So yeah, I want to do more of that. Get that a bit more confident, because that's going to be the conversation we had right at the beginning.
Any habits?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't have bad habits.
Sure. Mate, what about your playlist? What's going to be on your playlist?
Oh, it's always drum and bass or dubstep. That's the beat. It's not particularly tunes that I want to sing to or anything. It's just beat. It's like background noise. It just focuses my mind because I'm not thinking about anything. But if I listen to metal, it goes horribly wrong. I get too angry. So I don't listen to
going down the slope.
Yeah, no, get out of my way. No, it's like you're angry when you're trying to do a jump, or you're angry getting onto a rail. I try to avoid them now, to be honest.
Who's your go-to drum and bass or dubstep?
I think Pendulum is definitely number one. Skrillex is up there, but I just put Amazon Music on shuffle and just see what comes up. And then if that doesn't work, if the songs are repeating too much, I'll put some dubstep on, or or Pendulum or something like that. They're just good tunes for getting you focused. I even have like maybe 3 or 4. Oh, what do you call like war crime tunes? You know, the tunes that get you right in the zone, like get you right there. And if I stick them on, it's like I'm in beast mode. Stay the hell away, kind of situation. No, I'm there. I'm in that zone. But that's important. I think we'll cover that on another episode. Like things that gets you into the zone. There's obviously the preparation, which I went on earlier. But I think things like music and all of the other distractions, I think that's going to be a really good topic as well.
Yeah, that helps with that interference, doesn't it? It gives you something to distract yourself with rather than distracting yourself with fears and doubts and stuff. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Whack it on the list for future episodes.
I will do that, man. I will do that.
Awesome, Chris.
I'm going to... we should end it there.
Yeah, cool.
Anyone that's watched it live, thank you so much. Please join, subscribe, click the bell, all of that stuff. Anyone that's watching it new, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. We really hope you've enjoyed today and it helps you. We'll be doing